Hi everyone, I'm JD, welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited to share with you my latest journal. It's one of my vintage sewing ones. Just love this illustration on the front with all those dresses. Here is the back. Usually I do like a patchwork of fabric on the cover, but this time I wanted to do something different, and all the fabric is on the inside as tabs and ruffles and even little patchwork collages on some of the pages. And yeah, I also did the inside a bit different. I really just wanted to show off this picture here rather than have it as a page to put it on the cover, so I thought that was really cool. And so I did it for the back as well, and then added some lace at the top and bottom, some ribbon trim, and yeah, I really like how it turns out. You can see it kind of peeking out everywhere, and it's a little bit chunky, but I love the look of the tabs everywhere and kind of the retro colour scheme for the fabric. Lots of patterns, bright bold patterns, that kind of thing. So let's do a flip through. So it's a loose blue theme because of the blue in the actual pattern, so you can see blue and blue, and also because of these blue dresses and the blue on the front cover. But there's a whole bunch of colours in this really. Oh, there's a whole bunch of vintage ephemera in here too, so authentic vintage receipts and invoices and different things, so that's really cool. This one at the front because it has the blue and the tabs, and I liked matching it up with these colours here on the pages. This is from a vintage sewing book. Some of the postcards, index cards, vintage ledger paper. This is from another sewing book as well. Some postcards in this pocket with a linen on there. That one's from Johanna Clough's Etsy shop, Little Bindi. This is my favourite tab. So pretty. Oh, I also did some fabric pockets with sewing. One of those house paint chips. Oh gosh, sorry if you can hear the truck outside. It's just started up. More postcards and index cards. I love this patchwork, it's so fun. One of my clusters with some lace. This is some vintage checkbook receipt paper or something like that. This one is one of my vintage music paper tags with a fabric pocket, and there's some vintage tea cards inside there as well. And this is vintage ledger paper, this is tracing paper. This is so cool, this pattern paper, so I used some from the actual pattern booklet, I don't know what you call it, pouch. Some of my doilies to decorate some of the pages. This vintage blue lace, more vintage sewing paper, vintage graph paper, one of my ruffles. There's some journal cards in here, some paint chips, playing card and coin envelope. In here we've got another authentic vintage piece here that folds open. You can have some writing space there, and we've also got a nice large journal card to go with the bright bold colours and patterns. Another tab, ledger, blue ledger paper, some of my favourite paper. Oh, this one has a cute little vintage swap card in here. How sweet is that? In another one of my tag pockets with some fabric. This is a vintage library card, and this is the beautiful middle page with a tab. I just love, again, the blue florals, and I thought it fit well with its being like fabric or linen to go with the fabric theme of this sewing journal. Another vintage piece here, and another vintage piece here in this tag. This time we've got some vintage buttons on a button card, which is so cool. Little surprises tucked in little pockets here, there and everywhere. Here's another one. This is authentic vintage as well. It's quite long. And another bright bold pattern. I tried to choose ones that would be kind of cool to be on like bold clothing. Another larger coin envelope and a flashcard. More authentic vintage papers. That one's kind of like secret journaling space there, so there is space to write, and there is space to write on that one too, and that one I suppose with the writing. Another paint chip, and it says Happy Day. One of my collage paper pads with vintage ledgers, and I love this one. What do we call that? Like waxed paper, I guess. Another doily linen there. just decorating the page, one of my wallpaper pockets, and one of my piano paper tags that says making. So I thought that was fitting for this fabric sewing journal of making clothes. Alright, I'm going to have to take that off, stick that back in. That wallpaper is from the antique place. Another vintage piece here. Another patchwork, a flashcard, postcard, another beautiful trim, linen postcards in there, vintage ledger, index card, postcard, another authentic vintage piece in that pocket, and then there's a goodie bag at the back. So we've got one of my tags with the pockets, got a few pieces of papers and vintage style pieces, book page, vellum, one of my napkin envelopes with the Paris theme, and one of these beautiful cards. Just thought it worked well with the theme of the sewing because that's like raised velvet feel to it. So a little goodie bag at the back, and that is the journal. So I really love it, something a bit different, but I always do love making these vintage sewing pattern paper journals, and I quite like all the tabs and all the vintage ephemera of course as well. So if you're interested in purchasing it, please get in touch with me at the email below in the description box. Let me know what country you're from so I can give you a shipping price as well. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!